So I drink a lot of tea. Like I drink it for at least 6, 7 times a day. I know it's not healthy. It's not something to brag about. But ever since I was a kid, that was a huge escape mechanism for me from reality. And for some weird reason, up until I was in 12th grade, I thought tea actually had caffeine. and Yeah, so I drink a lot of tea. And just like any other day, I went out to a tea shop and I'm like, which is code word for one tea. And I realized it's not the normal guy and he wouldn't understand the code word. Then I'm like, Anna ஒரு tea ஸ்ட்ராங்கா சக்கரை கம்மியா and then that happens and then I realize I don't actually have any cash to give to him and I'm like, oh my god, what am I going to do now? And so basically you pay for the tea after you like drink it. So okay, this is a problem for future me who is like 10 minutes away, so let me just enjoy the chai first. That was what was going on in my mind. And then I look for cash again and I'm like, okay, I can just tell this guy I'm a regular here and I give it later. And I realize I'm standing right under a bridge, and besides the bridge there is a railway track where a train is going away all the time. And I thought, okay, this is a great way for a movie screenplay. Like imagine if there are three characters in hyperlink cinema and you have this interface where all three of them meet. You can basically have one character drinking chai under the bridge and have this other character who is in the train passing through this character, and then you can just pan out to the bridge where the other character is moving in a car or a bus above the bridge. And I'm thinking, okay, wow, this is a great idea. Now I need a story for this. And before I could face out on my thoughts, I realized that guy has a UPI board. So basically, any UPI in India should technically work. Most of them should work with anything. Like if you have Paytm, but the board says PhonePe, it should work because they're all based out of UPI. But 99% of the time it works, but not all the time. I realized I have $10 in my bank account, so I thought, okay, it's sorted. I'll just pay it through UPI. And then there is this beggar who's walking up to me, and my anxiety is off the charts. I mean, like, what if he asked me some money? And he did. And I'm just sitting there. I don't know why I did this, but I just took out my wallet again. I opened it up to him. I showed him, dude, there is no difference between you and me. I'm broke as well. And he's like, okay. And he starts walking away. And then, I don't know, for some reason, I call him back. I start digging into that coin pouch thing. And I find some coins. So now I'm going through them one by one like a beggar. And I found $13. And I'm like, yeah, you can actually have food with this, you know? Because... So this guy basically told me, if you don't trust me with the money, if you think I'm gonna drink away the money, you can give me food. Like you can take me to a restaurant and buy me food or give food you have at home. And yeah, that makes sense because a lot of these beggars, they tend to just drink it up anyway, and like you feel guilty because you could have drunk it up. You could have been drunk with that money. And I was like, okay. So I gave him the $13. And that got me thinking, you know, are you doing this because you want that beggar to feel good? Do you want him to survive? Do you want him to get one meal of the day? Or do you just, you know, like, do you want to just feel good about yourself? Because like, what do they say? They say when you're doing a donation, leave the camera at home. That's what they always say. But then there was this very interesting TED talk by RJ Balaji, this famous guy in Tamil Nadu, who says, like, I don't care if you brag about your donations or philanthropy on social media because, like, it is instigating a chain of reaction of other people to actually do it. And that kind of makes sense. Like, irrespective of the source, you are helping a person out. But why are you doing it? That's the question. Do you do it feel better about yourself, or do you do it to feel, do you just do it so that the other person can survive? That's the question. And I had this lady beggar. I grew up literally watching her every single day of my life. So when I was in sixth standard, I used to play football on the street, and this lady would be sitting there near the goalpost. It was not an actual goalpost. It was basically just two stones kept on either side of the road, and this lady would be sitting near that stone. And like sometimes we would accidentally hit her, and sometimes she would take the ball away and not give it to us, and then sometimes we would actually purposely on hit her, not hit her, god forbid, no, you should have seen that woman, no one wants to hit on her, but like hit her with the ball, like physically. And that's because like she always kept smoking weed, and like I didn't even know what weed was back then. And that lady, she I think she went to jail for peddling weed, and like she makes a comeback in my life like 7 years later, where she goes to all tea shops and begs for money. I knew her history, okay? I knew she was basically drinking away her money and peddling weed, and she was not begging for money for food. She was not begging for food. She had money for food. She was just doing it for other indulgences. But one other day, I just gave her money again. It was $5. I mean, it was just $5, but why did I give it to her? Did I give it to her because I wanted her to feel good about herself? Or did I give it to her because I wanted to feel good about myself, that I'm donating money to others? That's the question. Why do you donate money? Why do you give money to beggars? Let me know.